Boom, we are live. What's up, guys? So, I wanted to do this live stream because initially I promised you guys that me and Ayande were going to be chatting it up with three lovely ladies. Unfortunately, as is usually the case, the chicks completely late. And this situation, I had no contact with a girl or any communication with them, so it was completely outside of my control. It was also outside of Ayande's control. Just chicks can be flaky. So, I want to do something that would give back value because we're supposed to do something at 9 o'clock today. So I figured I would just do an hour of pure live Q&A. So just answer your questions, guys, for an hour. Just do nothing but value. So a few things before we start. So a lot of people have been asking me, yo, dude, have you seen Rollo's video? What do you think? Some people are saying, dude, he fucking destroyed your arguments, blah, blah, blah. I watched about 30% of it so far. It's a 2 hour long live stream. God only knows why Rollo needs 2 hours to respond to a 15, 20-minute video that I made. But I'm about one third of the way through it, and he hasn't destroyed shit so far. So I'm going to do a very detailed live stream this weekend. It's either going to be Saturday or Sunday. I'm just seeing my schedule, or I'm going to go through the whole thing point by point. It's probably going to be like 3 or 4 hours. I'm going to go through everything point by point and show why he's wrong and why, even though he accuses me of doing a lot of straw man arguments, while actually what he's doing is literally the epitome of straw man arguments. Some interesting things were dropped in the live stream so far. So for some reason, apparently I've been working for Anthony Johnson. I did not know this, but so Rollo for some reason thinks that I work for Anthony Johnson because I'm the speaker at the convention. It's one of the dumbest things I've heard. I have no affiliation with Anthony Johnson, aside from the fact that I'm be a speaker at his convention, and we've done a few podcasts together. I met him for a drink literally once. He's a cool guy. I consider him a friend, but we do not work together in any way. So yeah, that was just like a really dumb accusation. But anyway, also another thing I want to quickly point out, and again, we're going to dedicate a whole live stream to this, but I just kind of found it funny that Rollo would spend 2 hours responding to my video, literally just talking about, basically the things I said, instead of just coming on and actually debating me and saying this stuff to my face. Like, if you're going to dedicate 2 hours, the debate itself would have been like probably right around that time. Why not just spend that 2 hours talking to me directly, and then we can have a conversation where we can follow up with each other instead of just going back and forth. I make a video, you make a video, I make a follow-up video, you make a follow-up video. Like, that's so fucking dumb. Let's just have a conversation face to face or computer screen to computer screen and actually debate this. So yeah, I just found that pretty funny. But hopefully this debate happens. I really don't think it ever will for obvious reasons. But I want it to happen. I think it would be a lot better and smarter than us just going back and forth and making videos, responding. Like, it's such fucking middle school shit. Like, let's just actually have a conversation. Someone said he thinks you're disingenuous. Okay, the crow calls the raven black. Like, I think a lot of the stuff he said was disingenuous. Even if assuming I am disingenuous, okay, so why not say that to me directly, like to my face? Be like, dude, you're disingenuous for these following reasons, right? And then I can respond to that, like, instead of just like saying it in a video. Like, I don't know. I just found that so dumb. Also, the thing he accuses me is that I took a lot of his stuff at face value, which you should with this kind of stuff. Like, if I make a video saying, hey guys, so I have this takeaway, or like I said, I have this opener that works really great for Tinder, and you guys use that opener, and then you're like, yo, dude, that opener sucks. I'm like, whoa, you guys took what I said at face value. What I really meant was 10 years ago when I used to use that opener in a different app, it worked well for me given this context, but you guys just took what I said at face value. Yeah, I just went off the rules as they were being said. Like, and actually a lot of the stuff that he referenced actually did go through all that stuff. So he's like, oh, I bet he never read this. I did read that article. So yeah, but we're going to break this down. I don't want to get too into this now because I want to do this point by point, which we're going to do this weekend. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right, so let's just start off by going through all the questions, and we'll kind of do it that way. What does it mean when someone says I'm emotionally unavailable or something alike? How does it manifest in behavior? What that means, generally speaking, is that the girl is just not interested in you. So she's using an excuse. Emotionally unavailable is one of the excuses. If it was a guy that she really likes, I guarantee you she'll be emotionally available. The only exception is if it's a girl that you've already been sleeping with and she says that to you because she is legitimately emotionally unavailable. But yeah, so it's most like an excuse. Okay, what question? What's on your podcast schedule? Oh, it's a good question. We got a lot of good ones. We got Sarah J. I haven't announced it yet, but she's going to be coming in the studio a week and a half from now. So we're going to have Sarah J. in the studio. We got the lead lawyer. We got the Poor Man's Podcast. They're all on the agenda. We got actually there's a bunch of other people who I'm in talks with. It's just not official yet, so I don't want to announce it yet. But yeah, Sarah J. is confirmed. The lead lawyer is confirmed. Um, yeah, those guys are confirmed. We got Anthony Johnson coming out tomorrow. Yeah, so we got some good guests. We got a good lineup. Are you still going to review infield to reviewers? Yes. So we're still going to do that. It's on my list of things to do. I'm definitely going to be doing that in the very near future. Is Tinder good for an 18-year-old? Yes, it is. Hi, I met on a first date with a classic tattoo girl, and she said she had a very promiscuous friend, but she isn't. So there's no such thing as really a classic tattoo girl. A lot of people have tattoos nowadays. It doesn't really mean one thing or another. Like I have tattoos, but you wouldn't really say I'm the classic tattoo guy. And there was a guy went on 8 dates with her and finally give up. Uh, that doesn't mean shit. She might make some guy wait 8 dates, and for another guy like me, should fuck him on the first date. That doesn't mean anything. I think it's actually probably a shit test. So she's seeing how you're going to respond to that. Are you the kind of guy that's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah? Are you going to accept the beta, provider role, or are you just like, I don't give a shit. I'm not that fucking guy. So yeah, I don't think that means anything. And yes, I would probably continue. What is the best way to find some good outfits for oneself on this side? Some good shots and poses for photos. So you can just take a look at my personal Instagram, Sir Alex Z, and just kind of mimic some of the, the poses. I don't believe in posing for pictures, but some of like the shots that I have. So check that out. Some good outfits. I mean, I'm not like the best person in fashion. You can kind of take a look at what I wear personally. There's a bunch of YouTube channels dedicated to this. Like we just had Tanner Guzzi on. So check out that live stream. He actually works as a fashion consultant, so you can hire him or just check out that video. Check out some of those free resources. Aha, Rolo is a coward and drama queen. Very much agreed. I dig these live Q&As, man. Thank you, sir. What's a better dating apps or cold approach? Yeah, there's not one is not better than the other. They're both. That's like saying what's better, protein or carb or fats or something like that. They're both good in their own way. There's pros and cons to both. I have actually a whole video on this, but yeah, one is not better than the other. How do you feel confident as a man to approach instead of doubting yourself? Well, having some self doubt is normal. That's like I have self doubt. Everyone has self doubt. The question is, what do you do with that self doubt? Do you just overcome it and take action anyway, or do you let it eat up at you? So, having self doubt is normal. It's part of being a human being. The question is, what do you do with that self doubt? Does the live opener matter? I don't know what that means. Can you expand on what live opener means? How much of a difference between high-end perfume, Hugo Boss, Dolce & Gabbana, and make during? I think it helps. I'm not the biggest expert on this. Actually, we have a legit expert on perfumes. It's like a hot French chick who has a whole channel on perfumes. She's going to be coming out next week. Completely forgot about that. So I think it's going to be on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that because that question will be answered then. Did you bust another shot before getting on the stream, bro? No, I got off a coaching call with a client, so that's why I'm kind of out of it. How would you try to make a girl you see off of Tinder go out to pull other girls with you for threesomes, provided she seems to be freaky like that? I would just, check out the video I have called How to Have a Threesome on Tinder, but I would generally just ask her. I'll just say, hey, you like chicks, right? She'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, cool. You and I should go and pick up our girl one of these days. Like, make it seem fun. She's like, really? I'd be like, yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. You and I could find a hot girl. Get her on board. Get her like interested in the idea. Like, what kind of chicks are you into? She's like, oh, I don't know. I like this type of girl. Like, cool. Yeah, I like that too. We should find a girl like that. Get her excited about the idea. But yeah, direct communication is probably gonna be bad. If she said she has a boyfriend, should you keep plowing? Really depends on the context and the situation. Generally speaking, when a girl says she has a boyfriend, she either has a boyfriend or she's not interested in you, and thus she's using him as an excuse. But either way, that's going to be kind of hard to turn that around. I determine whether to pull on the first date, try holding hand test when we talk. I always try to pull on the first date. So there's no determination. Because a girl goes out with me, I am going to try to pull on the first date. So to me, it's not a determination. It's a matter of if. I mean, it's a matter of when, not if. Um, so yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Yeah, I'm always going to try to pull on the first date. Is Cinder Gold a must? No, but it is definitely very convenient. I've been taking the bus to school with a girl every day, but never made a move, not even getting her name. Do you think I still have a chance? Yes. I mean, why would you not have a chance? She probably doesn't even know you. Just try talking to her and then you'll find out. So, yes, you still have a chance. Uh, how do you tell a girl you want friends with benefits? Best way to set it up, you say it at the beginning, or no, I never actually say it. I just show it. So, check out the video I have called How to Have a Friends with Benefits. I actually have a whole video on this. But yeah, I just show that through my actions. I never say it directly. Met this girl at the party. She seemed like she was vibing. I got her number and jokingly said, I'm going to FaceTime you tomorrow. She was down. She didn't answer, but we talked over text for a couple of days. She said, I'm going to FaceTime you. She's down. She didn't answer, but we talked over text. Yeah, I'm not seeing the problem. I mean, she just forgot. She just didn't pick up at that moment. You don't need to FaceTime her. You can just set up plans over text. Just completely forget about the FaceTime and start moving things towards the meetup over text. I am 31 now. I was 28 when I got on TRT. Contrary to popular belief, I did not get into it because of bodybuilding or anything like that. I legitimately had very low testosterone as a result of being sick with Lyme disease for years, and so that's why I got on TRT. Then the muscle has been just a nice perk. Not really getting anywhere with her over text. Oh, this is a follow up. So I asked to call her for 2 minutes. She made some excuse, something of just letting go. I don't really think you need to get her on the phone to make it happen. Again, I would have to see the screenshots, but sounds like some kind of concern or objection. So I'd hit her with some kind of a takeaway, probably. My experience, I think when a girl asks how many girls have you met and she gives you a giggly smile, that's the ultimate sign she's DTF. Any other verbal sign? That's I don't know if that's the ultimate sign. Actually, for me, the ultimate sign is when a girl says, I'm not having sex with you tonight. That's actually the ultimate sign. Well, actually, the ultimate sign is if a girl says, do you have condoms? But the second one is when she says, I'm not going to have sex with you tonight. That usually means she's going to have sex with you unless you fuck it up. Well, it is a good sign when she asks you that. How do you know when you've gone too far with a girl and it's considered sexual harassment? I don't know. I mean, if you have some level of social awareness, you should be able to kind of figure that out just based on the signs. But I don't really know how to answer that question because it's not something I ever thought about. I just don't sexually harass girls, so I never like really thought about it. But I guess part of that is just like I have like a pretty good intuition that I rely on. So I don't really know how to answer that question off the top of my head. I would have to think about that one. Condensed version on how to get a long-term relationship on online dating. Um, it would be the same thing as you get a long-term relationship from regular. You would start off just doing all the stuff that I talk about in my videos. So, getting lots of matches, running a good text game, going out with a lot of girls, sleeping with the girls. Then, maybe after you slept with a bunch of chicks, you can pick out the one that you really connect with. And then you would try to have a long-term relationship with her. So at that point, you would start hanging out with her consistently, building a connection, finding out what things you have in common, doing them, and it kind of all stems from that. But in the initial phase, just everything is the same. What is a good high value frame you should maintain on a first date? We're talking about like internal frames. I mean, the frame that I kind of have is that I'm a cool guy. I don't really need to win this girl over or anything like that. In fact, I'm finding out whether I like her, and I'm basically the one that's qualifying her, whether she's only good for a one night stand or for a booty call or something more. So I'm the one that's qualifying her, and I trust in the fact that she wants to fuck me. So all I need to do is make that happen and build some sexual tension. So yeah, that's kind of the frame I have. I know. The shame, the shame. Sexualized over text not good anymore. No, it's still good. It's always been good. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the question is, but no, you can still sexualize over text. How many hours do you spend in the gym currently? I go to the gym. I My situation right now is pretty complicated because my neck is super fucked up. So there's like limitations to how hard I can train. So my answer will not apply to the average person who doesn't have injuries. But currently, I train probably 4 to 5 times a week, maybe an hour ish each time. I don't train for super long like I used to, just because I can't really do as much. How do you deal with orbiters throwing dirt on your name to a girl? I don't really give a shit. I almost would take it as like funny, be like, "Oh, really? He said that." I'd be like, "Yeah, it's so funny the things guys say when they're trying to get laid." Like you basically just like you kind of playfully point out that the reason the guy's saying that is because he's trying to win points with a girl. I'll be like, "It's so funny how guys will just fucking say the most random shit in attempts to try to score points with you." Like you almost kind of like have an inside joke with a girl that this guy's just being like a loser. That would be kind of the frame I would take. How do you text a girl who recently got into a breakup? Exactly the same way you would text a girl normally. There's really nothing that's different. If she doesn't bring up the breakup, then you don't need to either. Okay, wait, kind of skip me. Okay, there we go. Geez, my dog's like choking. When are you on a first date with a girl in your house? How do you baby step your way back to your house when she seems to be a bit concerned? What provides she also seems to be into you. Um, It depends on what exactly she says, but I would just say something like, I would say like, listen, we're gonna go somewhere really romantic. Trust me. The girl's like, is it your house? I'm like, of course not. I would never ever take you to my house on the first date. So like, she's kind of like, wait, is he taking me to this house? Is not. I'm like, trust me, you'll love it. And we just keep the conversation going, so she doesn't have time to like really start pondering it. And then if you get to your house and she's like, oh, this is your house, I'm not going in. At that point, you would kind of address that. I'm like, nah, like, trust me, we're just gonna have a drink. No sex. Like, you almost want to be the one that says, like, we're not gonna have sex tonight. And she'll be like, oh, really? Haha. Okay. So you kind of diffuse that concern that way. What's the best places, sites for buying cloth, dude? I have no idea. How can I find a girl within a lifestyle niche? I'm a vegan guy looking for a vegan girlfriend. That I do not know. I would probably go to like some vegan websites or forums or whatever. I'm sure there's some forums or some communities that vegans have. Maybe a vegan food festival. I know they have those in my city pretty often. So something like that. How to find entrepreneur girls to date. I don't really know if you want to date an entrepreneur because who's an entrepreneur because she's going to be really busy with her business. So I would personally not really want to date an entrepreneur. But yeah, that's the first thing. Second of all, only small percentage of girls are going to be entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs are men. So you're working with a very limited group of people. But I'm sure, again, going back to the vegan thing, like some meetups or some communities for entrepreneurs. Do you ever use alcohol as a crutch for gay man for the past 5 years? I'm trying to make a cycle. I used to. I don't anymore. I don't really need it anymore at all. But I used to for a long time. Yes, I got over that by just baby stepping, weaning my way off it. So like when I first got into game, I used like 5 drinks in order to like be good. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna have 4 drinks, 3 drinks, 2 drinks, and just kind of get to the point where I'm like, oh shit, I don't really need drinks to get with a girl. How much harder is pulling 18-year-olds when you're in your late 20s, early 30s? I don't think it's hard at all. I think, in fact, in anything, it's easier because if you're in your early 30s and there's an 18-year-old who you're going out with, then there's a bigger sign that she's DTF because she's going out with an older guy. So most often it's probably because she has a sexual interest in him. So I think it's actually easier, not harder. To message a MILF in an open marriage. Her husband gave me her Twitter a few months ago. I've been seeing them together. Her husband gave me her Twitter a few months ago. Hey, dude, I want you to bang my wife. That's interesting. Yeah, probably the same rules of text game will apply. Probably be a little bit more direct because she's an open marriage, so you can be more direct. I would just hit her up and be like, "Hey," like in the DMs, be like, "Hey, your husband gave me your Twitter. He thinks we would fancy each other, something like that," and then just like get the combo going. And I think you'd be a little bit more direct. How do you deal with a girl in your class that you talk to that have a boyfriend? Again, same exact way I would deal with any other girl. I have a video how to hook up with a girl who has a boyfriend, so just check that out. You would respond with humor. So I would say, "No, I'm saving myself for Jesus," or something like that. So you wouldn't even dignify that with a real response. Me personally, I do use protection because I do not want to get any girls pregnant, nor do I want to get STDs. But I used to be a lot more reckless about it uh, when I was younger. No, it is not going to be like that. I am going to have girls into my podcast. The big difference is one of the girls I bring on are going to be more attractive. So it's not going to be just like random trashy types of chicks. So I'm going to be a lot more careful about screening the girls who come on my podcast. And two, it's not going to be nearly as often. It's probably going to be something we do like once a week or something like that. Hey, Austin, unfortunately, how do you come up with that name? It's just a combination of my first name and my last name. My last name is, well, I don't really want to dox myself, but I guess most of you guys can probably figure it out anyway. So it's just a combination of part, the first letter of my first name and part of my last name. It was actually when I went to college at BU, they randomly put that together and it was my email address. So then I just kind of stuck with it. How long do you think one-on-one life coaching with someone? It really depends on what your inner game problems are. Some of them can be solved pretty quickly, and some of them will take a very long time. So it really depends on your problems. But inner game is a lot harder to fix than outer game. Do more long-term advice, please. Yeah, I mean, I'll do more of this content. I think I covered it pretty adequately though in some of my videos. But if there's like something specific that you want clarification on, just let me know. But won't meet me for a person date. What exactly does she say when you propose to date? What is the excuse that she gives you? Jane. Yes, I would. Grounded men, definitely high energy. Well, it's good to have energy to be energetic. You don't want to be like a sloth, but being grounded definitely helps. How should I approach a finance girl at the gym? So I actually have a whole video on this with a demonstration. So check that out. Can you give a to-do list for parties to get in them jeans? Uh, to-do list for parties. I mean, there is no to-do list. You're just like, just going to the party, having fun and running normal game. Like I don't really there's nothing special or different that you're doing. What do you say or do when you ask her when she's free, but she says she'll have to look, but she's off this weekend and working Sunday, off the weekend working? I would She says she'll have to look, but she's off the okay, that's easy. I'll say, cool. How's Friday or Saturday night? So she's telling you that she's free this weekend. So just set up plans for the weekend. Have you banged any models, actresses, IG models, or famous girls? No one like legit famous. I've been some like very like D list, like not chicks or like legit famous. So no one that like people would recognize on a first name basis. Three of your favorite ways to build sexual tension on the first day: eye contact, proximity, and touch. So strong eye contact, actually getting close to her and just touching her. Uh, Possibly, but not necessarily. I don't think it's age is not really a relevant factor here. More has to do with her archetype and how you guys met rather than her age. Okay, wait, what else we have? Any opinion? Okay, Cupid. I made a very sexual count and put normal. I'm not a big fan of OK Cupid. I just think it's kind of like the bottom of the barrel on there, at least in America. The more attractive girls are on like Bumble and Hinge. So yeah, just all the chicks I've met on OK Cupid have been like average at best. How old would you say is too old to go to college, university, nightclubs? I don't really think there's such a thing as too old, but you're definitely good at least up to your 30s. So you're like mid late 20s, totally fine. Even early 30s, I don't see as a problem. There are many girls who speak English where I live, so I find it hard to like. I would totally go to a college, university, nightclub right now if I was into clubs. There are many girls who speak English where I live, so I find it hard to approach. I'm in China, so I find. Oh, there's not many girls. I'm in China. Yeah, you have to learn a little bit of the local dialect, so especially in China. But also, you can use like Google Translate and stuff like that. So it's not a problem. I've picked up girls in Colombia who speak no English just with Google Translate. What's your usual night game approach? You rack up numbers, try to get night game pull. Generally speaking, I try to rack up quality numbers, so it's not just like any numbers, quality numbers. I'll get a few numbers, yeah. Sometimes I go for the pull if like the logistics are good. How do you not take rejection personally in game? Um, yeah, I mean, it's human nature to take rejection personally, and I would be lying if I said I'm at a point where I completely don't take it personally at all. Like every time I get rejected, even to this day, it's like a little bit of an ego hit. But I just realized as part of the game that most of your approaches are going to result in rejection, and that's nothing personal. Has nothing to do with me. It's just the nature of the game, and that the girl's not even really rejecting me. She's rejecting her perception of me, which is probably not even really accurate because she doesn't know me. So yeah, so that's you kind of have to like reframe it in your head. How to recover situation where I fucked up by acting or saying things that can ruin my alpha personality because most things I've done up to that point is correct. I've burned a lot of dates. Uh, I would need to know what specific things you did or said to really answer that question. Actually, the girl added her on Snap. She asked me to cuddle, but I declined due to her saying no sex. I posted was bored on Snap, and she unadded me. She was DTF because you declined. She said that she wanted to cuddle with you, which means she wanted to fuck you, and you didn't pick up on that. When a girl says "I want to cuddle but no sex," what she really means is "I want to fuck." So you fucked up by declining her invitation. Yeah. Where do you get your kava from? So I use a company called Instant Kava. I like them. There's also a local place in Miami that sometimes does flavor kava for me. Do you have an alu ball? I do not. No, I don't know what that is really. Uh, Going to Brazil over Christmas. Got any recommendations for meeting girls, even though I don't know any Portuguese? Uh, yeah, you would still do everything the same. So it doesn't matter if you know Portuguese or not. You would just use Google Translate. Um, Yeah, Brazil should be really good. You'll have a lot of matches. Some of the chicks will speak English, some of them won't. For the ones that don't, you just use Google Translate. Just do straight to the house dates, and yeah, should be really easy. Just run the numbers game. I do okay. So this is not to me. You going to Rio? Oh, okay, he's asking him. Do escorts count towards total match count? They do not. Um, Alex, how to beast release such an experimental wealthy look profile versus fit look profile? Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that video. I generally like How to Beast overall, so I'll check it out. How should one shift the thinking from black and white when you get several flakes in a row from approaching from black and white? How should one shift the thinking black and white once you get several flakes in a row from approaching? Oh, okay. Now I understand the question. Again, you just have to like remind yourself and reframe it. You have to like plow through it. So your mindset might be like, "Oh fuck, I'm a failure." But again, you have to realize that she's not rejecting you; she's rejecting her perception of you, which is probably not accurate because she doesn't know you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay. More fitness content on the channel. Yes, we are releasing a fitness video tomorrow. Actually, Do you do? I used to all the time. Yeah, I think it's good. What I used to do is I used to set. It's pretty funny. I used to sit in a cold shower and visualize myself banging the girl, and I wouldn't let myself get out of the shower until I got a boner, because then you really clearly visualize it if you get a boner under cold water. So yeah, I used to do that. I don't really need to do it anymore, but I think it can be very powerful. What did you learn from Zamparion? I didn't like I already kind of knew a lot of the stuff he was saying, so I didn't really learn anything from him. But that's not to say that I mean the conversation was really good, and Zan is a smart guy. I think he dropped a lot of good gems. It's just like I personally already knew a lot of the stuff he was saying, which is kind of the way it usually is when I do live streams with other guests. So did I ever get caught having sex with girls? Yeah, yeah. I think I've been walked in on before. Can't remember. Why do you think black pillars are the most toxic people on the planet? And also, do you think some of them are caused homosexuals? And Kevin Wild just did. Why do you think black pillars are the most toxic people on the planet? I don't know if they're the most toxic people on the planet. I've never really said that. I think they're, yeah. Also, do you think some of them are closet homosexuals? Uh, I don't think so. I think maybe a few, but I think mostly it's just guys who've given up, and are victims. Can you debate Reeve waffles? Sure. I mean, I already debated another black pillar. I guess I could do another one. I don't really have a problem with doing another debate with weed waffles or something like that. That should be fine. Thanks. Nice live stream, man. Thank you. What's the one thing you do that makes girls you're with feel safe? So I don't do anything to make girls feel safe because I think it comes. I think it stems from the wrong frame because it's like, oh, I have to prove to this girl that I'm safe. I don't need to prove to a girl that I'm safe. I just assume the girl knows that based on my actions and my vibe. So I'm not trying to prove to her that I'm safe. I'm not trying to prove to her that I'm cool. I'm not trying to prove to her that I'm high value. I just assume that she's going to be able to tell that based on how I communicate. So, yeah, I don't really think there's anything I do. Thoughts and gym selfies? They're definitely good if you're in good shape. Do you know anyone on Rise Celebrity that only accepts 8% of how many person? I do not know. I don't think they will let me on. I don't think being like popular in the pickup community counts as being a celebrity. Um, how would I approach if I got accepted? Probably similar to other dating apps, but yeah, I don't know anyone who's on there. Or actually, wait, I indirectly I know some people who are on there, but they're not like friends of mine. He just had a date. I heard him banging the girl. If we're talking about averages, then yes, but there's always exceptions. My early 30s, I'm starting to feel like night games too taxing for me. Alex, do you go out at night often? What's your ratio of day game? I do not go out at night often, maybe like once a week. I'm just too busy with other shit. What's your ratio of day game to night game and on based on time? I don't know. Probably most of it is online, but even like nowadays, I just don't do that much of that in general. I'm just more focused on creating content and the business. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably like I don't know, like 60% online, 25% day game, 15% night game, or something like that. Have a good first date with this girl. She flaked on me next. She was scheduled for next day and blows me off with no reply and stuff like that. Mm, I would ask her what made you feel anxious. Try to get to the bottom of that. Okay, wait. StreamYard has a habit of skipping. What kind of fucking question is that? No, I have never tried to rape a woman. And even if I did, I would obviously never admit it on a live stream. But no, I definitely did not, nor would I ever endorse anything like that. So that's a, I don't know if this guy's trolling or not, but the answer is indefinite no. Would you agree that the upside of finding a girl online is that you at least know something about them and they about you so you can connect with that versus culpers? The upside of online game is that it's more efficient. So when you approach a girl in real life, you have no way of knowing whether she's single, whether she's straight, whether you're her type, whether she's taken. There's so many factors outside your control that would make her not a qualified lead. With online, you know that the girls you're talking to are generally speaking qualified leads because they've already, swiped right on you. That means they find you attractive. It means they're available, generally speaking. So yeah, I just think it's a lot more efficient. Uh, From 1 to 10, how would you rate your confidence level? It's like an 8 or 9, but it depends on the situation. It varies. With most things, it's like an 8 or 9, but maybe in certain situations it will go down. Like if you put me in like a board meeting where I have to talk about something I really don't know, it would probably go down. Thoughts on Paul Janka? His early stuff is pretty good. I've been trying to set up a live stream with him for ages. He's proven a little difficult. What's your view on vaccine passage code measures affecting game? I live in Miami, so it hasn't affected me at all here. There's no, everything is open here. There's no vaccine passports or anything like that. I haven't lived, since the COVID thing. I haven't lived in other cities. I know it's like more serious in other places. I think the whole thing is so fucking dumb. I think everyone should just get back to things as normal. Like the world has literally lost its fucking mind with COVID and like is making way too big of a deal out of it. But that's kind of like just like my personal opinion. How does huge bodybuilders usually do with girls like Corey? Usually not that great, actually, in my opinion. I don't know too many of them personally. Well, actually, no, no, I'm gonna scratch that. I think generally speaking, girls don't like guys who are too roided out, jacked. They like more like fit guys like Daniel Craig and Casino Royale rather than like Ronnie Coleman. Like most girls don't find that attractive. Certain percentage of girls do. I think they do good with a certain niche of girls, which is usually other gym girls. Dating advice for young men, 18, 20, same dating advice as for everyone else. Focus on the fundamentals. Yeah, nothing different. What's the best text for son dating app on and one on approach? So I have a whole video on this. Best openers. Just take a look at that. How to lose more virginity. I also have a video on that, so check that out. If a girl has her Instagram in her Tinder bio, should you shoot her a message on Instagram? No, I would still try to match with her on the app and try to talk to her on there. I would not just hit her up on Instagram because you're going to get lost in her sea of messages. I don't know if you answer this. I don't drink. What would you do to invite a girl over dinner? Yeah, you could do dinner. I'll cook you dinner or tea or something like that. Or yeah, you could say a mocktail or something like that. I don't know. Could be anything. John is a much better person to ask about this because he doesn't drink. So he would be a better person to ask this question. Which movie do you recommend to learn seduction? Not a movie, but TV show Californication. You often run, she won't kiss, but or fuck, but will date is just me. Not often, but it happens. Not often though. We probably attract a different type of girl. I probably attract a different type of girl than you do on average. So John said, "Sexualize over text, won't put too much pressure on the guy. Should I do it?" Oh yeah, we just have different styles. He doesn't really like to sexualize over text. I sometimes do. It's just different styles. More than one way to skin a cat. See the video where this guy showed his bank statement of 100K in a bar to girl and got shut down. No, I did not, but I'll be very interested if someone could link me that because I do want to take a look at that. I've been talking to this girl who asked for a lot of money because she's in debt. She's nice, but is dry sometimes. Am I a simp? Yes. If you give a girl money, then you are a simp. Yes. So never give a girl money um, in that type of context. No. If like I have a female friend who I trust and she asks for me to loan her money, then yeah, I would loan her money maybe with someone I trust. But if you wouldn't do it for a guy friend of yours, but you would do it for a girl, random chick, then yeah, you're being a simp. Alex, what do you think of having high quality pics, DSLR quality with blur backgrounds versus normal smartphone pictures for dating profiles? I don't think it makes that big of a difference, honestly. I really think it comes down to much more to how good you look in the photo and how natural you look rather than the quality between a smartphone or a DSLR at this point. Is it worth to ask our girls from work social circle for games still sucks or focus developing game from cold approach? I would just do both. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I would just do both. In regards to day instruction, what are some things that guys who are advanced may still find a bit difficult to do? Ooh. Really depends on the person. Really runs the gamut. Some guys have a hard time with I don't know, with some guys are pretty good at getting girls to fuck them the first time, but then the girls disappear on them. Some guys struggle with getting the girls into bed quickly. Some guys struggle with texting. Like it really runs the gamut. Does Rhaegar miss me? He does indeed. It tells me every night. Whoa, just skipped. What happened to the A&A stream? Yeah, so we have the girls rescheduled, so it's going to be next week. A cute girl flaked on me twice and went silent night of day. Try to move on, or what's the move? Flaked on me twice and went silent night of day. I would call her out, call it out, and see how she responds. I end up getting last minute resistance time to take her pants off. Yeah, that happens. I mean, LMR, happens to everybody. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really want. This is like the only topic I don't like talking about it on YouTube because it can be misinterpreted. So that's why I never talk about LMR. Um, but there's articles about this. I've even written some of them. You can check it out, in the forums. I talk about in the product a little bit. And there's also other, like Girls Chase has a really good article about this. So check that out. Somebody asked this question very rarely. Yeah, like what the fuck? Why would anyone ask that? What does it mean when a girl grounds in you and dance with? Nothing really. It could mean she's drunk, could mean she's horny, could mean she likes you. Uh, uh, yeah, so I don't really think it means anything. Have you seen Cuban Bianca girl from Fresh and Fit? No, but I will check her out. I'm gonna write this down right now and slide in them DMs and see what I can do. So thank you for the tip. Let's see, Cuban Bianca. Writing this down. Done. Okay, moving on. As serious should men take girls who use the word celibate? Depends on the context, but generally speaking, not that serious. It doesn't really mean too much. Spoken to a girl for months now, and she seemed pretty down for meeting up and sex. But now that we live in the same city, she keeps canceling dates and making it hard for me. Yeah, probably because she's having second doubts. Um, I would do a takeaway, but I would need to see the exact conversation to tell you exactly what type of takeaway to use. You still fumble every now and then, Stanley creep out annoying girls. Yeah, but not severely, but to some extent, yeah, sure. I definitely have my share of fumbles. I don't think I creep out girls. Do I annoy girls? I don't think I annoy them. I just think I probably quite often, like not quite often, but sometimes I rub girls the wrong way for whatever reason. Maybe I come in a little too strong. Maybe I'm a little like, I don't know, for whatever reason. So yes, to some extent. Dude, it's funny. I've actually sent him emails and reached out to him. I would love to get him on. No, we are not exclusive. I still occasionally hook up with other girls. How would you recommend going about becoming exclusive to one girl? That part is easy, actually. Just have a, once you've been seeing her and dating her for a while, you just talk to her about it. Um, no, I do not plan on doing boot camps. Yeah, I could easily make a lot of money. Doing that, but I just don't want to. I don't have any desire to do it. I'd rather focus on making content, doing cool podcasts, doing demonstrations, doing content. Um, yeah, I just have no desire to do boot camps. I'm tired of red pill versus PUA. I agree with Coach Carl and Justin Mark that you got to be red pill, PUA, even generalist red pill without realizing it's making housing. Well, the word Yeah, so I don't really think there's a red pill versus PUA. Like, for example, I don't identify myself as a PUA. There's some things, and what is red pill? Because there's a lot of people in the red pill community who think different things. Like, you take like someone like Rollo Tomasi, and you take someone like Bulldog Mindset, right? They're both considered red pill, but they believe different things. So, yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you define red pill and what you consider red pill. There's not like like universal set of red pill rules and PUA rules. Like you would probably consider me PUA, but I'm quite different than RSD, who would also be considered PUA. So there's no like red pill versus PUA for me. I'll happily have a conversation with anyone. Uh, so yeah, like for me, there's no like I do what I think makes sense to me and like what ideas I agree with. I don't give a fuck what team, those ideas come from. Like to me, it doesn't matter. I just look at everything like, okay, does this make sense or does this not make sense? Which PAs you endorse for night game advice? Austin Summers, Coach Kyle, Jay Mulf, Jesse James. Um, I'm sure I'm missing a bunch. Um, I'm definitely missing a whole bunch. Oh, Gabriel Gray, but those are the ones top of my head. What do you think is most important to girls? Face, body, dick, height? Probably height is number one. Face and body depends on the girl, but probably face is number two, body's three, dick is number four. But again, it depends on the girl. Does hair matter? Can I get laid if bald? It does matter, but yes, you can get laid if you're bald. I know a lot of bald guys who get laid. Like, take a look at Coach Whitepill. He doesn't have any hair. Top five pickup artists for you. So I just answered that question basically. Um, Back in college, me and my friends used to do a bunch of cold approach. We just funnel girls into our parties. I found that to be great for getting abundance. Any opinion on this? Back in college, me and my friends used to do a bunch of cold approach. We just funnel girls into our parties, and I found that to be great for getting abundance. Any opinion? Oh yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. I think if you're in college, that can work really well. So I think it's a good idea. I don't really know who that is. Someone would have to. I would have to guess. I would have to look them up. Nice man. I'm glad to hear. How do you overcome approach anxiety? I saw the video on this, but basically, you have to power your way through it. You just have to ignore it. Like, it's like, how do you overcome hunger? Like, if you're trying to be on a diet, well, you just don't eat. Just like you don't want to approach, but you approach anyway. So you just have to override that fear response and force yourself to do it. Nice man, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know, but for us, sex ed was like a joke. So it didn't help me at all. Um, I don't think porn has corrupted my view on sex, but I've never really had a porn addiction. I like Courtney Ryan a lot. I agree with pretty much everything she says. I've had her on the podcast before. Rebecca, I don't know personally, so I can't comment. Wait, let me. It keeps like skipping. What do you think about some dating advice saying to not have female friends? Or he clarifies purely platonic female friends. I think there's definitely an element of truth there. Like, I don't have any. Well, let me expand on that. I don't have any purely platonic female friends who I have not hooked up with and who I'm not in a business relationship with. So, for example, my relationship with Courtney Ryan is purely platonic, right? Because we have a business interest. I want to collaborate with her. Blah blah blah. I mean, this is just like a bad example. Like other female YouTubers like Kezia Noble, like it's purely platonic because again, we are collaborating together. So I keep that professional. Um, and I'm friends with some of the girls who I've had sex with in the past, who I'm no longer having sex with. But I don't have any girls who I don't have a working relationship with, who I haven't had sex with, who I'm just friends with. So I think there's an element of truth there. Thoughts on steroids? Any situation where they're appropriate? Depends on what kind of steroids and how you define steroids. Like some people would say, what I do is steroids, like testosterone replacement therapy. Some people would say that's not steroids. So it depends on what we're talking about here, what your goals are. Are you trying to be a professional bodybuilder? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Where you're at in life? How old you are? Yeah, I just really, I don't look at it as good or bad. I just look at it as like whether it's gonna, be appropriate to help you reach your goals or not. Like if you're like a younger guy and you're just getting into fitness and you just want to you put on some muscle, then no, I don't think steroids are necessary because you can just do that naturally. Um, if you're like, you're trying to be a professional bodybuilder or you're an older guy and your testosterone has crashed or whatever, then yeah, it probably could, be helpful. So I just think it depends on the situation. If you can't be sure, have and you polish your last just is the best so far. That sounds. Yeah, I've invited Aaron on. I think he's been busy, but I can try to get him on again. How do you feel about verifying your profile? I'm assuming we're talking about on Tinder. On Tinder, it's like super quick, so I would just do it. If I get banned after, it will be a permanent ban. Um, Not necessarily. Hey, Alex, how do I get B-list celebrity who's been in a premiere film all the while? I want to play. It's literally exactly the same way you would get any other girl. Like you don't have to. The minute you start doing something special for her is the minute you start fucking up. So you will just treat her like any other girl. Like you don't want to do anything special. The only difference is with her, you probably want to be a little bit more low key because she's a little bit more worried about her reputation. So you want to make it clear that you're not going to risk her reputation. But other than that, you're doing everything the same. If I'm leaving town in a couple of weeks, should I tell girls I'm planning dates with somehow? Um, Depends on the context. I might say something like I would just try to set up dates, and she's like, "Oh, I can't meet for a few weeks." I'd be like, "Oh, I'm actually flying out, so it'd be cool if we can meet beforehand." Something like that. I have a video on this, but I generally I'm a proponent. I'm a fan. How to get girls in college. Again, same exact thing as any other situation. The only thing that's different in college is a lot more social circle based. So you could join a fraternity or a club. That would be very helpful. So again, I've just answered that. Californication is probably my favorite show when it comes to learning seduction. Got my Tinder profile point, good number of high quality matches, but hardly ever get past the first second. How can I improve? So the problem is with your text game. So just take a look at some of my videos on texting. That should point you in the right. Next time you have any dating coach on, you should ask their link count. Just realize Sub Jeffries is a fraud when he said he's sub 100. Just because someone doesn't have a super high link count doesn't mean they're a fraud. Like if someone's been more focused on relationships or something like that, I don't really think that's an indicator whether they're fraud or not. Um, yeah. So that to me is not really that big of a deal. It's kind of like a random question to ask someone. I will ask it if I think it's relevant, but just like to ask that out of the blue, I think is just kind of random. Um, like once or twice. I'm not really a fan of that kind of stuff. A higher perceived value girl blocked me after the first date because I called out Elf in the Room that she should estimate by accusing me. And how do I say that? Well, if she blocked you, you're probably not going to save it. So I would just probably move on at that point. How did your girl continuously want to say "I love you" when casual? Um, I would playfully call it out. I'd be like, "Why do you want me to say it?" I would like almost like playfully fuck with her, be like, I loathe you, like stuff like that. Just fuck with her a little bit. I just like red pill because it causes resentful men. But do you think the fact that every mainstream game presents men as fuckboy players proves that women don't see most? But do you think that the fact that every mainstream game presents men as fuckboy players prove that women don't see most men? Yes, I do think that women don't really have a most women don't really have a good understanding of the issues that most men face. I think that definitely is an element of truth there. I think most girls are under the impression that guys just naturally know how to, talk to girls and blah blah blah. So unless they're immersed in the community, like Natty already knows all this stuff, but before she met me, she didn't really know. Okay. You ever game at strip? No, I've only been to like 2 or 3 strip clubs in my whole life. I'm generally not a fan of strip clubs. It's fucking annoying. The music is loud. Yeah, that's more of like John's thing. Me personally, not that big of a fan. This is yeah, just it's outside my realm of expertise. I would the hockey stick. I would check out what's his name, Sterling Cooper. He has a course on that or like some kind of article. I would check that out. Um, the roast video on Roll is going to be hell funny. Yeah, it's not even going to be a roast video. It's going to be just me logically destroying all his points. But yeah, that's going to be a good time. Also, are my dating options going to be limited when I lose my hair? Not necessarily. And if you can, find a way to save your hair, then that would be good. It doesn't, if you still have hair, you don't have to accept that you're going to lose your hair. You can do a lot of things. You can do finasteride, you can do Rogaine, you can do a hair transplant, you can do stem cell exosomes PRP injections, which is something I've done. I'm going to be doing more of. You can do derma rolling. So I would do everything in my power not to lose my hair. But if you lose hair, it's not the end of the world. Um, you can try. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. If you like her, and you like getting gentlemen's game, I never tried. I don't know who that is. I'll have to look into them. Yo, guys, if there's anyone you want me to get on the podcast, shoot me an email and with a reminder. So playingwithfirechannel@gmail.com. So whenever you guys make a request, I do my due diligence and I research that person. And most of the time, as long as I think it's a good fit, like as long as I don't think they're a total scammer or something like that, I'll invite them on. So I usually try to make it happen. I disagree with that. I don't agree with that. I think, for example, my roommate, Indian P, let's be honest, he's not that attractive. But he gets girls to go further with him on Tinder and whatnot. So yeah, I don't really agree with that. Sir. Oh shit. Okay. Where she's gonna be getting a whole fucking stream of guys hitting her up. Let me take a picture of that. All right, there we go. I'll hit her up. Thank you. Appreciate that. Uh, I like both of them. I've done collaborations with both of them, and I like both of them. Never. How can I get out? How can I get before I lose all game? How fat can I get before I lose all game? Curling 280 at 6'9". I mean, like, why would you want to get fat? Like, it's not good for you in terms of your health. You're gonna have health issues. Your quality of life is gonna go down. You can die early. You're gonna have heart problems. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question because I disagree with the premise. Like, you don't want to get fat, but there are fat guys who still get laid. Some guys who are like high 200s who still get a lot of pussy. So it's doable, but I just don't know why you would want to. Hey, bro, you frequently talk about how Pimp nailed it on the inner game was like a six. Yeah, yeah, I like Pimp a lot, which probably is the one that is 10. The thing is, I haven't gone through a lot of products. Like, I've never gone through John's products completely. I've never gone through Surgical, but those are all people I like. So, the people who I mentioned who I said are good resources for a night game, those would be like the products I would look into. Um, is game in Miami different than other cities? Is it harder? No, it's not necessarily harder. No freshman fit says that all the time, but it's not really true. The girls are just pretty flaky here, but that's the only thing. Okay. I don't really understand this. You make men go in there and have a version of PUA. It's called men go in there level one. I don't really understand this, but okay. It depends on her music taste. There's really, again, no way to answer that. It depends on her music taste and your music taste. I generally try to find something that we're both going to like. That's an interesting question. What does it mean when a girl replies yes when you say it means that she's not interested? She doesn't. When she's like not even bothering to dignify that with a response. So when you say that, what you want is something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just busy." Blah blah blah. When a girl says yes, it means she's not interested. I would just move on at that point. How high would you? Again, it's up there, but I haven't really gone through the product, so I can't comment. Like, I'd have to really go through the product. I just don't really have the time for that. But I like Gabriel a lot, and everything he says makes sense to me. At least vast majority of it. Austin Summers for sure. Alex is the only one who does live streams with his face in the camera. Yeah, just because I'm like have really bad vision. I really got to get LASIK. I've been like meaning to do. I just keep putting it off. Do you want children? If so, when? Also, what age do you think is the best time to still down with children? I don't know if I want children, but I haven't ruled it out either. What age do you think? It just really depends on you. But it's not going to happen for me for quite a bit. That's for sure. All right, I've gone for an hour. Let me go through. I'll go through a few more. Let's go for another 15 minutes. Why do so many women like fuck boys? Everybody complains about them. Because fuckboys are usually confident, they're not apologetic, because they're assertive, because they're typically good in bed. So it's all the other traits that fuckboys have that women are attracted to. Johnny is kind of low key now. He's a chubby dude with 6K lay count. 6K? No fucking way. No one has a 6,000 lay count. That's insane. Unless you're like a celebrity. What are your political views? Do you lean left or right? Pretty much in the center. I'm probably closest to a libertarian. Um, I just think people should be free to do whatever the fuck they want to do, unless it's hurting other people. I'm not a big fan of like big government regulation and like all that stuff. But I'm not a Republican either. Like I'm pro environment, pro like reasonable regulation stuff like that. So I would probably be closest to a libertarian. Hello from fellow Russian. You help my intermediate game 200. Oh, nice. Nice, man. I'm glad to hear. You have a Machiavellian personality. Machiavellian is like, uh, I've never really read any of his work. I believe it implies like you're like pragmatic. You do whatever it takes. Is that correct? I could be wrong. Yeah, I have to look into him more before I can like answer that question. The female dating coaches you interview all the advice they give legit. Yeah, I every one of them who I've had on, I like Marnie, I like her, I like her advice. Cassie Noble, I really like. Courtney Ryan, I really like. So yeah, I would vouch for all of them. Bulldog Monset says you shouldn't hang out with girls and your girlfriend. Well, it says you shouldn't hang out with girls and your girlfriend. Shouldn't you shouldn't hang out with girls and your girlfriend. You shouldn't hang with girls and your girlfriend. I definitely disagree with that. Me and Natty hang out with her friends from time to time. It's not a big deal. Shouldn't hang out with guy friends either. Like, wait, why would I not hang out with guy friends? Like, why is he saying that you shouldn't let your girl hang out with her guy friends? Or I don't really understand the question. But if the question is, is it okay to let your girl hang out with her girlfriends or her guy friends? I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't give a shit. I trust my girl. If I didn't trust her, then I wouldn't date her. Um, if like I mean within reason, like if she was like, hey, me and this guy who wants to bang me are going to take a trip together, and then yeah, that would be a big deal. I would not be, I would not be for that. But if it's like some random dude that she works with are going out for like happy hour, after work with like their coworkers, don't give a shit about that. If the question is, should you and your girl hang out with like other people, then yeah, I don't see why that's a problem. Like I do social things with Natty all the time. um, is it okay to book a hotel with a girl on the first date? Yeah, it's fine. So having a social proof picture of you with guy friends important. No, it's not. That's a big misconception. It is absolutely not necessary, nor is it important. It can help if it's done right, but it's not essential by any stretch. That's tricky. That's tricky. Depends on what because they have so many different kinds of bands. But generally speaking, you got to get a new phone, create a new account using a new number. Okay. Yep, I do. No, no, no. This is not the role of response video. That video is going to be this weekend. Um, have you ever paid for a box? Only twice in my whole life when I was much younger. Once when I was 19, no, 20, and once when I was 22. Uh, and both times it was like special circumstances because like I was like one time I was like with friends and we were in Tijuana. And I was like bored as fuck because all my friends were like banging prostitutes. I was like, oh fuck it. Like it was like at a club where it's like only prostitutes that came like do real game. And like, yeah, so that was it was again when I was much younger and only twice. I see that you're skiing a transformation video. What do you eat to gain weight? How many meals, etc. Um, Yeah, I eat. I'm on a meal plan, so all my meals are delivered. I don't have to do any kind of like like there's no like all the work is done for me. My meals are paleo. They're heavy in protein and healthy fats. For carbs, I do things like sweet potatoes, plantains, yuca. I generally eat once or twice a day. I usually the days I work out, I do two big meals. The days that I don't work out, I eat once. But that's not really optimal for gaining weight. Just my goal isn't just to gain weight. Like I'm just trying to maintain right now and just be healthy. But if I was trying to gain weight, I would probably eat like three times a day. Tried heroin or any other drugs? I've never tried heroin. I have tried other drugs. What have I done? I mean, I've done like the non like super serious drugs. I've never done like heroin or meth or something like that, but I've tried ecstasy and acid, shrooms, like pretty much all the psychedelics. Yeah, like the non super fucked up drugs. But that was a while ago. It was when I was like in my early 20s. Not so much anymore. I might do ecstasy on my birthday. We'll see. We'll get to that point. Did a lot of cold. Okay, this is not a question. Uh, can I come on the podcast? Like but yeah, but you have to tell me like maybe, but you have to tell me like what exactly you want to talk about. Like, do you want to debate me or like what exactly do you want to come on for? Uh, why don't you do more hinge stuff? Women so much hotter. I'm confused. Uh, because it's really the same thing. Like all the stuff that I talk about for Tinder applies to Hinge. Good text game is good text game. So, um, yeah, my stuff isn't just specific for Tinder. It's like, all the texting stuff is applicable for all the apps. I have like a few specific videos on Hinge where I talk about how to set up the prompts. But other than that, like Hinge is basically the same shit. When will the playing with fire Instagram come back? Yeah, people usually keep asking me that question. So I understand the intention is good, but quite often it almost like the vibe I get is that some guys think that like it's up to me. I have no control in this. I've been actively trying to appeal it for the last 6 weeks. I have sent Instagram so many appeals that there was a pop up that said you are harassing because apparently I messaged Instagram so many times that I activated their harassment whatever like activation thing. So I've been very diligent in trying to appeal that. Right now, I'm paying for service to do it for me. So we'll see. I there's no guarantees. I would have liked to have it back. You know, I would like to have had it back weeks ago. So I want to get it back ASAP. I'm doing my best. Um, yeah, it's like like I'm doing everything I can. Hopefully, it's going to be soon. But there's no guarantees because it's outside my control. Do most girls smell good down there from experience? I've had that experience. Yeah. If you're going for like attractive, normal girls, not like some like weird recluses and stuff like that. Yeah. Any recommendation for guys looking for more of a dating and not just sex as far as YouTubers go? Um, Not off the top of my head. I'd have to think about that. But I mean, I think you can apply a lot of my stuff for that too. I've had a few videos on like relationships and stuff like that. Performance, actually, yeah, performance potential. He's not really active on YouTube. He's more on TikTok, but I think he's really good for that kind of stuff. No, because that would create a whole host of issues for me if I start making content for teenagers. So I fortunately cannot help you with that. Tips for someone who's thinking of getting on Tinder. I'm 18, learned a lot from your costume getting late, but not every. I mean, like just check out my videos, bro. Like I have a whole bunch of content on on how to get started on Tinder. So just check that out. Like I have videos that literally just walk you through everything you need. Um okay, let's oh now we're going for over an hour. Let's try to get through a few more questions. Oh shit, the questions are piling up. I feel bad. Like I want to. I'll go for a little longer. Would you have Marcus from UMP on the guys as legit as they come? Yeah. So I do think Marcus is legit in terms of his game. He is very good at game. I will absolutely give him that, and I've seen him firsthand. And generally speaking, I don't have an issue with Marcus, but there's a lot of bad history between playing with fire and UMP. It's a whole thing. I don't mind going into it, but I don't really know how interesting that's going to be. So there's a lot of bad history there, and at this point, I just would not be interested in collaborating with them because of that, because they've done some things that I really wasn't fond of. So because of that, for business reasons, I would not have him on. That's not to say it's never. Yeah, maybe at some point we'll talk it out, but at this point, I just have no interest in like helping him promote his brand. Again, nothing against him personally, but just like due to like some of the shady business stuff they've done to us, I'm just not interested. Do you think there's something wrong with me? I don't connect to girls before sex. I've been attacked. I got my end this question because no, I don't think you're a bad person. That's like just like how you are. Um, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I generally don't really connect with girls until I really, get to know them either, and that usually involves having a lot of sex with them. So, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Do you think most men would take a now who gives sex a couple times a month over five? I really don't like the premise of give sex. I really don't like that premise because it implies that sex is something for the guy, not for the girl. So I would not be with any girl who I need to get sex from ever. Um, that's like an instant deal breaker for me. If a girl, I want a girl who wants to fuck me just as much as I want to fuck her. And if she doesn't, then we're not going to be compatible. So I don't know about most men, but nor would I want to be with a five. So neither one of those would be a scenario I would be happy with. No, I don't give a shit. I am not a right winger, like by any stretch. Like, if you look at my voting history, I don't even know why we're getting into this, but I voted for Obama, in the election. So I'm not a right winger by any stretch. Again, like currently where I'm at is I'm closest to a libertarian, but I'm definitely not like like a Trump supporter or anything like that. So nor do I really give a shit. Like if I was in that category, I would just say it. But generally speaking, I don't even talk about politics to begin with on like first days. Uh, okay. As your money grown, has your game grown too? What do you think is a major benefit to having for game? No, my money. So I mean, I'm not like super rich or anything, but I'm pretty well off like right now. No, it hasn't had any effect on my game, honestly, because I never leverage my money to get laid. Like never, nor would I ever do that, even if as I keep getting richer. So I don't believe in leveraging money to get laid, and for that reason, it doesn't really affect my game, honestly. Um, I guess, dude, that's so true. I've said that in like other videos. I think yes, that is very true. Um, okay, I'm trying to get to like some good questions. Why does Hinge have so many overweight fat girls? Honestly, appreciate on seen on the box thing. Mine talks about never pay for box, so most men have done once in their life. Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee it, but I would bet any amount of money that he has too, and pretty much everyone has at some point. I really don't know any guys who never did. Why does Hinge have so many overweight fat girls? Um, Well, there's overweight fat girls everywhere. I think it just depends on where you live. Because in Miami, there's really not that many overweight fat girls. So I just think it depends on where you live. How do you talk to a girl who just? I don't have Snapchat, so this would never happen to me. I'm a big advocate of deleting Snapchat because I think it's a giant waste of time. So I would just talk to that girl over text rather than a Snapchat. How do you pass the shit test while going on alone and ask where your friends at? white lie. I'd be like, oh, I'm meeting up with them a little bit later. Want to get a drink beforehand or something like that. JML said he has a one-way open relationship, but you said the girls will get resentful and doesn't work out. How does he make it work? We just have a different perspective on this. I didn't say that. I think down the line it won't work out. His one-way open relationship is fairly new. Like he's been with a girl for like less than a year, I believe. So we'll see how that works out. But I think like down the line, resentment does set in. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I think we kind of differ on this. Alex, in your transformation video, your voice become 1,000. How is this even possible? TRT, me getting more confident. Just combination of me becoming more confident when speaking on camera and TRT when you approach concepts of your steps. It's definitely very subconscious at this point. But if you're like a beginner, you have to start out consciously and then it becomes subconscious. So glad you're alive. I just came out as a lesbian this year, and my fear woman is messing with me. I'm going to a pride party from this weekend, and I'm nervous. Okay, cool. Congratulations. Second day with a girl, no smash, said you can't have everything, gotta wait, or something like that. Heavy making out, calling. Why is it that she doesn't want to smash? Could be any number of reasons. Could be because she is a legitimately conservative girl. Could be because she's leveraging sex. Could be because she's not sure yet. Could be because she thinks that if she has sex with you too fast, that you're not going to want to date her. Could be because she classified you as in the provider category, and she's going to make you wait. Like for example, Natty talked about this in the last live stream. Is that if she thinks the guy is boyfriend material, she makes him wait like 4 or 5 dates. Versus like with me, we smashed on the second date. So could be any number of reasons. What are the top 2 things helping your transformation? Are we talking about my fitness transformation or my game transformation? If we're talking about fitness, if lifting regular, I mean just consistent lifting, like that, and just being very diligent with my diet. If we're talking about game, um, just going out again. There was like I wouldn't say there was top 2 things. There's just like a culmination of things and just being very like diligent with it. Okay, let's see. Do you have any tips or videos on how to improve sex game? Yes, so I'll have a video on this. Check that out. Had a good first date with this girl. She's like me. She was scheduled the next day and blows me off in the reply. I used to flaky type. She said, yeah, so I'm sorry. I answered this question earlier. Okay. Is Bulldog Monts legit when it comes to dating? He talks hell of a game, but shows no receipt. Do we know his leg count? I do not know his leg count. Uh, is he legit when it comes to dating? I think that's up for you guys to decide. I generally like John. I think he has at least a decent understanding of game, but he's not someone that would be my first like resource when it comes to game. If that makes sense. I'll probably be more confident referring like Austin or Coach Kyle or someone like that. But I don't think Bulldog is even really that focused on game. I think he's more about like business and stuff like that. Never been to Norway. I've been to Finland, and generally speaking, I liked Finland. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, girl that blew me off twice. Me cool. How about Saturday night? Her can't make a promise because she's getting intoxicated tomorrow. Me would be ready to make up, and was this good? Would be. No, not exactly. Cool. How about Saturday night? Her can make a promise because I'm getting intoxicated tomorrow. I would said. I would have said something like, "Oh, lovely," or something like that, or "Love the enthusiasm." I would have hit her with like probably a takeaway at that point. Okay, let's see. Yeah, keeps skipping questions. Do you think young girls find shady when you have no social media? A lot of them will, actually. That's why I think it is good to have some social media. How do people get into the provided category? How to not fall into it? I think a lot of it has to do with your vibe. We talked about this on the last podcast I did with Natty in Austin, so check that out. We kind of really got into it there. But I think a lot of it has to do with your vibe and like the impression that you give off. But check out that live stream. Yes, I have heard of him. I actually would love to get him on the podcast. Um, yeah, so if you guys are friends with him, definitely tell him that I want to get him on. Yo, what up, Max? Max is Wi-Fi again. All right. If you guys are not familiar, Max is the new coach that we've hired, so he knows his shit. John Sanders Lake County is Lake County one Bulldog runs. Don't like County's joke. Oh, okay. Would you rather have a student that goes 5.6s or 2.9s? Is it hard to get late? Well, oh, would I rather have my student close 5.6s or 2.9s? Probably 2.9s. Is it hard to get like consistently or yeah? That's a good question. I think it depends on where you live, what level of game you're at. I don't know which one is harder, honestly. What do you pay your coaches, Alex? I it's not how our system works. We're getting into like the nitty gritty of like the back end of playing with fire, but I the way we have it set up is the coaches that I have they help out in the mastermind group, and in exchange I give them exclusive rights to do one-on-one coaching. So I don't take any percentage of that. So they do one-on-one coaching. That's their money. In exchange, they help out in the mastermind a little bit. So it's kind of like a win-win type of situation I try to set up. Why do so many people, especially coaches, attack you guys like count as a way of measuring the value? I really don't know. I really also kind of found that odd. I've never had any problem with that question at all. It's just like not something I constantly ask. But yeah, I've never had a problem with like that question at all. All right. Wow, I just went through all the questions. Oh shit, my voice is about to give out. Yeah, let's. I'll take any last questions, even though this has gone longer than I thought it was going to be. I'll take any last questions, and yeah, and then we'll just call in like 5 minutes. Yeah, anytime, man. I try to be as transparent as possible. Yes, I would love to have him on because he was an early inspiration for me, and giving him credit for that. I think he shadow banned me from his from his YouTube, honestly, but I would love to get him on. I've reached out to him dozens of times. I don't know why he won't come on because my channel is a lot more popular than his, so he would get like a lot of good attention. Plus, I would definitely like talk him up because again, he was like a big inspiration for me initially. So I don't know why he's not coming on, but I would love to get him on. So I answered this question earlier in the stream. So just yeah, just kind of go to that. Would you ever go on a Main Street podcast? Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So I have a whole video on this and articles on this, so just check that out, man. Okay, he's beautiful. Yes, yes, you can, but yeah, the short answer is yes. Given some modification. What's your take on buying some followers? No shitty comments for RG when you start with zero. 5 years ago, I would have said it's a good idea, but now everyone kind of knows about it. So nowadays, I wouldn't really do that. I initially like 5 years ago when I first started my Instagram, I even bought some followers, but it was kind of different back then. I'm not sure, but that's a quality problem to have. I took a girl out to lunch today when we rode our bikes back to her place. We talked about 30 minutes and we tried to. Um, I would have, well, I would need to know more information, but did you build a lot of sexual tension? I would, escalation begins before the kiss, eye contact, light touches, proximity, verbally. So I would try to build a lot of sexual tension, and then I would keep trying. And then, if she's not being responsive, I try to figure out what's up. Like, why is she not interested? Is she conservative, or is she just worried about coming off as easy? What's the deal? Is sex on the fourth date too late to set the right frame for a non-monogamous relationship? I mean, I like to generally have sex on the first or second date, so yeah, I would not wait that long personally. Is your advice for long-term sustainable relationships? I mean, yes, like there guys often make it seem like it's completely different, like for short-term and long-term, but it's really not in the early stages. You still have to go on a date with a girl, you still have to get the girl on a date, you still have to close her, all that stuff still applies. The difference is what you do after that. So yeah. What would you define as a long-term relationship? A few years. As far as I was under the impression that him and his main girl had been together, I didn't think it was that long. I could be wrong, but I would define long-term as a few years, like 3, 4 years. No, I broke my nose when I was 16, so my nose is definitely smashed. Um, how do I get myself thousands of hours free to watch a holiday game? Yeah, that part is tricky. That's something I struggle with myself because I try to do a lot of research, and it's really fucking hard to get through. Just to get through Roll's fucking 2 hour videos, so I can make a response video. So it's challenging. Alex, please answer. What three outfits for dating photo shoot? What depends on your fashion, man. Like, I don't know what you like to wear, but and nor am I really that great at fashion. But so check out like Tanner Guzzi or other like fashion YouTubers and just pick like clothes that fit you well. That's my take on that. What's a reasonable price for a photo shoot? You could just get it for free if you just ask one of your friends. What's your take on leveraging my style on Instagram? Basically, what Fresh does. Do you think girls? Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. Girls, again, no wait, no, I don't think they see you as a beta male, and I think it's a good idea generally. Yes, very much agreed. No, not really. To me, it's like basically all the same shit. All right, so wow, we just got through all the questions. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. So we are going to be doing a live stream tomorrow night with Anthony Johnson. That should be good. I'm going to be doing my Rolo response live stream this weekend. That should be really good. And so, yeah, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hopefully, we answered all your questions. I try to kind of do these in rapid fire. I'll quickly answer this one more. What's your take on leveraging videos on Hinge? If a picture's worth 1,000 words, wouldn't a video be worth a hookup? Yeah, I think it's generally a good idea if it's a good video. No, I've never tried doing Kegels. Uh, yeah. All right. So I think we just got through everything. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.